Hi guys, Amber Craft, your local writer here. Now today we're coming live from my bookshelf because my entire kitchen is getting renovated, so my desk is, we're not getting to it and we're not filming by it because everything in my kitchen is now in my dining room. But today we're going to be talking about picking your correct genre and actually subgenre. Now this is what kind of book your manuscript falls under. Agents and editors actually tend to specialize and look for certain genres only. Now Twitter actually has a great resource called #MSWL, which is manuscript wishlist, and editors that you may or may not be following, and also publishing houses actually, will put what they're looking for on that, and that is by far, in my experience, the best way to find out what someone's looking for, because if it's in their wish list, they're actually looking. Now if you send a romance novel that you've just written to someone who's only looking for middle grade, you're wasting both of your times. So this is a big step. You know, my book, Unknown Love, is actually a paranormal romance. Now it has some killing and some devious things in it, but that's the actual plot of it. It is paranormal romance. Now everyone knows romance, sci-fi, historical, mystery, thriller, all those big genres. Now without knowing your genre, you actually don't know your audience, and without that you'll never actually get your book sold. So when you're looking for a book, think about it. What do you look for? If you're not looking for a specific author and you're not looking for a specific title of a book, what do? You walk into Barnes & Noble or you get on Kindle, you look at what? The genre. And that's why this is so important. So to break it down for you, I actually have 4 things that you should look at and you should consider when picking your genre. Number 1, do your research. And I don't mean look at genres and find out what each genre is. Now, I could give you a whole list of high fantasy, low fantasy, things like that. But that's not what I mean. I mean, you have your work in progress. You have your book, baby. Now, go on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com or anywhere that sells books and determine where your book falls under. Look at the top 5 books in each genre that you think your book could fall under. Read the descriptions and see if your book falls under those. Determine which description sounds the most like yours. That will help you narrow down at least 2 to 3 different genres that your book could fall under. Number 2, get to know your book specifically. Now you wrote it, it's your baby. You've had it beta read, you've had it analyzed to the top. You've read it so much you're tired of it, you're sick of it even. But do you know your book? You know it's got love. You know it's got killing. You know it's got this big apocalyptic scene. But which one is more important? Which is the overall tone of the book? That's what you need to look at. Now, whichever genre is more pronounced is the one you're going to want to go with. Now, if you have a murder mystery with just a small hint of romance as a subplot, you still want to put it in the mystery or the thriller section. But if the entire time you're solving this murder, you have 2 people becoming romantic, and that's the part you focus on, then you're probably going to want to have it more in the romance section. Don't think about subgenre at this point, just which one does it have more context of. Number 3, your reading audience. Who is going to read the book? That's where it boils down to. More thriller people, more romance people, more historical people. You have to think about someone reviewing your book. Now generally they actually should say pretty much close to what's on your synopsis on the back of your book. But when they're reviewing it, they're going to tear it apart. They're going to say what they did like, what they didn't. And you don't want someone reviewing a mystery to say, there was a little too much romance in this. Or someone reviewing a historical romance to say, well, it was more modern than I thought it would be. So those are important elements to think about. You want them to be able to say things about the intricate world building or the plot twist you'll never see coming. Things like that. And that will actually help you determine what type of genre to look into also. See where I'm going with this? They all intertwine to what you're going to do when you research. Now the good thing about Amazon is it helps you go into subgenres also to categorize your book. Now that's where number 4 comes in. Those pesky subgenres. Yeah, you want to say, okay, I have a YA book. Well, is it Hunger Games or is it Twilight? There's a big difference. You have human people in a world war zone. You have vampires. Now using Amazon to find what book has some elements like yours is an important thing. But when you click on YA, you want them to know where to go from there. If I'm going to find a vampire book, I'm going to go into paranormal. If I want to find a YA dystopian, I'm going to go there. Now, when you click on a book on the description, once you have found 2 to 3 books that are very similar in element to what you have, then click on the book. And you already should have done that and read the description. Now, if you actually scroll down, it will tell you customers who bought this item also bought. And that will show you books by that author, as well as books that are in that genre that closely relate as much as possible to that book. You can actually scroll further down and it shows sponsored products related to this item, which are things in the genre, but are not as closely related to your book. So you would see what rival book and what other elements that are sort of like yours but a little further. Now, even under that, and this is the important one, is product details. And this will tell you the book length, it'll tell you who published it and things like that. And while these are important, the one you want to look at is the last part. It says the genres that they actually put their book in. And it breaks it down into subgenres. If your book is like 3 different books you found on Amazon, that's where you want to look. Now underneath it, it'll say YA, then it'll say romance, then it'll say paranormal romance, then it'll say werewolves or dystopian or whatever you're looking for. That's how you actually find your subgenres. Now this is just a rough reference. This is what I've found, what I've done in my research that helped me distinguish where I was going to place my book if or when I self-publish. Or if I go the traditional route, I'll know who to query. So here's a little help from me to you. Whether you decide to self-publish or traditional publish, you need to know who to query or what category you fall under. Make sure you like, subscribe. I hope you all had a great day. Let me know what your thoughts. Leave some comments down below, and we will see you guys later. Bye.